Good morning. So you have been working hard and it's time to treat yourself to a delicious breakfast. Today we're going to be cooking up some air fried potatoes and a veggie egg scramble to pair it with. To start, you're going to want to dice your potatoes into 3 slices, and then each of those slices will become 6 cubes. Don't worry if you don't do this perfect with every potato, just try to keep everything around the same size so that you get a perfect crisp on everything with the air fryer. And go ahead and take your time. I am not the best chopper, so if you need to take your time here and spend a few extra minutes, don't worry, don't rush. It's the end of the week. Now we're getting started on this red bell pepper. Again, my knife skills are definitely in need of improvement, so if yours are too, not to worry. We're going to take our time, and if you can, try to pull out that center stem with the seeds attached. Sometimes you get lucky and the whole thing pulls up and you can toss it and get into the actual bell pepper a lot easier. If you're like me and that doesn't happen, again, not to worry. We're just going to slowly slice through. We're going to pull up all of the remaining center portion, and we're also going to scrape down the side so any of that white color comes off, as well as any remaining seeds. That center portion can be a little bitter, and of course any extra seeds might add some unwanted spice to this dish. So take your time, pull everything out, and then once you're able to get your bell pepper clean, you can go ahead and start chopping it. Some people prefer slices. I, on the other hand, I like to keep it nice and cubed. I feel like it mixes better with the other ingredients for our potatoes. So I'm just dicing everything up here into nice little squares as evenly as possible, but it doesn't need to be perfect by any means. Then I'm going to just dice up a little bit of onion to mix in with our potatoes and bell peppers. I like to give everything a quick toss before I add seasoning, just to make sure I'm happy with the portions of each ingredient. And I'm starting off here with a little bit of olive oil. This is great for getting all of the seasonings to stick. And don't be shy with these seasonings. I've got some pepper here. I'm gonna add chili powder. This is where the flavor lives, so keep on piling it on. I'm adding some garlic salt, and then I'll be getting some Montreal steak seasoning, which is so good on steak as well as potatoes. And go ahead and you're gonna wanna, if you're like me, you're gonna wanna add a little extra garlic powder. This is all the garlic flavor without the salt. So go ahead and give that a good toss. Make sure everything is as evenly coated as possible. Then we're gonna head over to the air fryer. Actually, you know what? I had the last minute thought to add a little extra rosemary to really give it a fresh kick. Totally optional, depending on how you feel about rosemary. Now I'm grabbing the air fryer tray, and I'm going to fill as many potatoes as I can, but I don't want to overstuff it, or we're not going to get the really crisp and delicious potato that we love. Temperature, you're going to go 400 here, and you're going to do a 10-minute chunk, shake the basket, and then do another 10 minutes. So go ahead and set that now, and then we'll move to the stove. We're going to get started on our veggie scramble. Again, we're going to start with a little bit of olive oil, and I've got the spinach here. You can definitely chop it up with your knife if that's easier. I like to just tear it with my hands. I feel like it's a little bit easier for me and anyone without the best chopping skills. Don't be shy with the spinach. You can get a lot in there. It's definitely going to shrink. Next up are these bella mushrooms. These are great for eggs. I feel like it helps eggs go a lot further and feel more satisfying. They also soak up a lot of flavor if you treat them right. So I'm going to just toss everything around in the skillet, really just trying to soften everything up. I like when it blends into the consistency of the scrambled eggs as opposed to being very chunky and a different texture. I'm also throwing a little bit of the leftover onion in for flavor. I was running short, so we'll add some onion powder. I'm also going to add chili powder. It's delicious. Don't be shy with this seasoning. And oh my gosh, you guys, this is actually my secret ingredient. It's chicken bouillon. It adds so much flavor to eggs. I highly recommend just sprinkling some in there. It does have salt, so you're going to want to be a little lighter with the salt that you add outside of that. And I like to put the seasonings here on the veggies because they're the ones that need the most help and the most flavor. But you can definitely add, more seasoning in when you put the eggs and start mixing things up. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to crack my eggs and actually scramble them in the skillet. This just makes less of a mess. It's easy and it always works for me. I've got 5 eggs going in, and like I said, I'm scrambling it right there in the skillet. I don't want to have to worry about scrambling them in a separate bowl, and this always works out, so a little time-saving hack. And you're just going to mix everything until it solidifies and comes together. It shouldn't be that long, and by now your potatoes are likely on their second round of 10 minutes. You've probably given them a shake. I'm going to go ahead and start plating this breakfast. I just evenly divide the eggs. It's definitely a healthy serving, so you're going to be starting the day off with a very full and happy belly. I do like to serve some berries in the morning. I feel like they're just a fun pick-me-up. They have some sugar, they're fresh, they're bright, kind of a much healthier dessert to go with breakfast. And yes, our air-fried potatoes, here they are. They're ready. They look amazing. They've got the perfect crisp. And let's take a closer look at everything here. So we've got our veggie scramble. Let's zoom in on that after I get those last pieces in. We've got our veggie scramble, and you can see the beautiful roast on the potatoes and the bell peppers. They came out perfect in the air fryer, and they're so tasty. Yes, again, I recommend the berries for that little kick of freshness, since this is a very savory breakfast. And then I want to show you guys some of the photos I got of this breakfast. We invited our little cat Milo to join us. I hope your breakfast comes out just as good and just as delicious. And I definitely hope to see you back here next week for a new video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you go.